Welcome friends to another Wheel of Time video. Today we're going to look at one of the Forsaken, Lanfear, her obsession with the dragon from the Age of Legends, and how she helped discover the Dark One and swore an oath to him. Spoilers for Lanfear's background throughout, let's get into it. For Lanfear's beginning we go to the Age of Legends, then she was known as Mirin. I will use her later name of Lanfear throughout. She was a researcher at Colomdan, a university in the city of Versailles. It was the leading place in research and development during this age. It was made up of a silver and blue domes and a sphere charome that floated above them. This was one place where advanced research was carried out. When Lanfear was a young student learning how to use the One Power, she took a lover, Luz Therin Telamon, who would over time become the dragon reborn of this age. Lanfear was a powerful channeler in her own right. But even with the level of power she held, she was not able to stand out enough to get a third name. At the time it was a mark of prestige, and she craved to have it. Luz, as you see, accomplished it. Her love affair with Luz Therin eventually fell apart for him, and Luz left her because he had realised that she liked the prestige of him more than the man himself. I think this was to make up for her own lower rank. And when he left, she became bitter, and Luz later had clearly moved on, as Elena was now his wife, and Lanfear made several bold and public attempts to win him back, and failed. Luz knew her well at this point, and loved his wife, so was not attracted by her. Time passed and she continued with her research at Colomdan with a colleague, and they made a discovery, one that would reshape the fate of the world. They had discovered an energy source, but outside the pattern. The pattern is made from the lives of all living creatures. This pattern is set by a weave, and can only be partly changed by people's actions. This energy was different to the One Power she and Luz Therin had studied and used, as that had a gender split between men and women who could each use their own half only. Men and women with this new energy could use it wholly on the same level, it was assumed. It was believed within the Aes Sedai that the gender split was stopping progress, as the differences between these two halves, Saidin and Saidar, caused problems when people tried to use them together. Lanfear and other researchers bore a hole with the One Power, a metaphysical one, through the pattern. There they found not a genderless power, but the true power, the essence of the Dark One, who had been imprisoned there by the Creator. They had released him, allowing him the chance to influence the pattern directly. The drilling also had the effect of destroying the Colomdan in black fire. The Dark One's influence would now start to affect society and cause the collapse. In the words of Robert Jordan, ripples in the fabric of reality as shockwaves from the breach shook the pattern. Up to this time, the denizens of the world had only to deal with the evil within themselves. If motivations for war and hate were removed, then so were the resultant activities. The Boar changed all that. The fabric of society began to unravel under the onslaught of the Dark One's influence. A large part of the horror came from the simple fact that for many years no one knew why this was all happening. Chaos seemed to be welling up from nowhere, without cause. In some parts of the world, in the years immediately preceding the final collapse, it fell into war, murder, rape, and even torture. They became regular parts of many spectator sports. Lanfear survived the blast, and then exactly when we do not know, but during either the collapse of society or the war of power, she pledged her soul to the Dark One she had released. One of the reasons she made this pledge was because of the power she would receive. Perhaps this was because, with the true power, she felt like an equal. Another reason was because she wished once again to have Luz Therin Telamon. She pledged in the Hall of Servants, and then she chose her own name, Lanfear, the daughter of Night. She was the only one ever to do so. During the War of Power itself, a conflict that would end the Age of Legends, a war between those who followed the light and those who had pledged to the Dark One, Lanfear tormented many through their dreams. She had mastered, or she claims to have mastered, the world of dreams, or Tel'aran'rhiod. There, all possibilities of the wheel are open, and if you are injured or worse, this can carry through to the real world. There you can change the world around you, making buildings and people, for example. So you can imagine what a potent weapon this was in the hands of Lanfear. She tried to convert Lews Therin to her side, as did Ishamael. They failed, and she found out, even under the Dark One, she was considered second best, as the Dark One favoured Ishamael over her. He was put in charge of the Dark One's forces during the War of Power, for example. Then, when Lews Therin was able to seal the Dark One away, correcting her mistake, she was sealed too, in a dreamless sleep. But when the dragon is reborn, this would free her. What would she do if she met this new incarnation of Lews Therin? Would he still hold an obsession for her? Read the books and find out. Now, friends, I turn this over to you. What do you think to the tale of Lanfear? Why did she have this continued obsession with Lews Therin Telamon? What horrible things could she have done in the world of dreams? Have you woken up in Tel'aran'rhiod? Comment down below.